Hey, Jim Munchback here from Houston, Texas. I just got an email that from iTunes that the podcast Made in Texas is now live in iTunes. So I'm going to go live on Facebook in a minute and announce it. I'm just getting ready now. So join me if you can. Podcast Houston is new. Made in Texas is delivered through Podcast Houston. So if you want to learn more or you want to follow the journey, I hope you'll consider joining me. You can go to podcasthouston.com, and that'll take you right to the Facebook page, Podcast Houston. I have another page as well called Made in Texas, and that's where everything will end up. But for now, since it's just launching, I want to invite you to consider joining me at Podcast Houston, which is the Facebook page for Made in Texas, the new podcast that's now available in iTunes. We're going to do a 40-day challenge, 40 days to make your money count as we wrap up 2018. So anyway, stay tuned, and we'll do a Facebook Live. Made in Texas, episode number 2. Hi, I'm Jim Munchback. Hope you're having a great day. I just got an email from iTunes, and the show is actually live. Made in Texas, sponsored by Family Wealth Builder of Houston, is now in iTunes. It will be in Google Play and Stitcher Radio, SoundCloud, and everywhere podcasts are played, hopefully in the next few minutes. I am doing episode number 2, though, with a high level of excitement, just seeing that the podcast is now live in iTunes. So I appreciate you downloading this episode. This is number 2, and I want to introduce the series that we'll be doing for the next 40 days. As we get very close to 2019, I thought it would be kind of fun to do a 40-day challenge. So I'm going to do 40 days to make your money count. I recently released my book, Make Your Money Count, Connecting Your Resources to What Matters Most. And in that book, I highlight the principles and the process that we use in wealth management that I learned as a certified financial planner over the years. And so the book, Make Your Money Count, really is about the process of financial planning. So I thought it would be kind of cool to go ahead and do a 40-day challenge, and I will be making offers throughout the 40 days. Offers from Family Wealth Builder Academy, where I will be doing online training and offering some online training courses. The first course is Financial Blueprint Academy. It will be our signature kind of mini course that will be provided for free just to give folks a chance to get acquainted with Family Wealth Builder. So I hope you'll check it out. Today, I would say the best way to check it out is just simply go to podcasthouston.com. That's actually a Facebook page that I set up for Podcast Houston. And I own the domain podcasthouston.com, so I just redirected it to the Facebook page. So please do me a big favor and like the page at podcasthouston.com. That's the Facebook page. And then you'll be notified. That's the easiest way to get notified. So for the next 40 days, I will keep that page, I'll keep that domain redirected the Facebook page at Podcast Houston. So if you're a Facebook user, that's the easiest way to stay connected. But here's another thing I want to ask you to do, since this is a brand new podcast. If you'd be so kind, is to take a minute and do a review in iTunes. Now, you may be hearing this podcast in Google Play or Stitcher Radio or SoundCloud or anywhere else that podcasts are played. And I'm sure they all have a way to either like or review the podcast. And I don't know if you know this, but if you have a podcast, especially in iTunes, and especially if it's a new podcast, the more likes you get initially, the more downloads you get. And likes and reviews, 5-star reviews, are really helpful. So if you would please do me a big favor as we launch this new podcast at Podcast Houston from Family Wealth Builder Academy. That's sponsored by Family Wealth Builder Academy. I'm Jim Munchback in Houston, Texas, and I'm your host. We will be doing a really cool, fun series for through 2019. So the title of the podcast is Made in Texas. Podcast Houston is really the kind of the deliverer of Made in Texas. But what we're going to do is I meet so many cool people in Texas, mostly business owners. In my business, I work with a lot of business owners or families typically who have businesses. Anyway, so I get to meet a lot of very interesting people and cool people, and I'd like to share their stories right here on the podcast. So just a kind of new way to get around and have some fun in Houston and around Houston. I hope you'll join me. I hope you'll be part of the journey, and I appreciate you listening to this podcast. This is just a quick episode I wanted to release and ask for my friends. I'll share this with a few of my friends and ask you to do me a favor and review the podcast in iTunes and like the page on Facebook. What I'm going to do for the next 40 days, just so you know, I'll play a little sample here, but I'm going to take excerpts from my book, Make Your Money Count, where I have stories, a lot of stories about people who I was fortunate enough to work with over the years in the context of financial planning. So I've been a certified financial planner for some time, working in the Houston area primarily, and I get to work with families and business owners really from around the country. And I work with a lot of financial advisors in the context of helping families and business owners put together a comprehensive and holistic financial plan. So I have a tremendous number of people in my community who are actually financial advisors, specialists, tax attorneys. And so I think it'll be kind of fun to just connect with them. So Made in Texas is really the theme of getting to know people and businesses and things in and around Texas that I think you'll be interested in, or I know I'm interested in. And I think the business owners, a lot of business owners don't have a great way to tell their story. So this technology podcast and video, this is a video on LinkedIn. So I'm actually doing a Facebook Live right now, sharing a quick video and recording it at the same time and posting it on YouTube Live. So that's a lot of technology, but the cool thing is you don't really need to know that. You don't need to know how the technology works to know that, you may be listening to this in a podcast, maybe on iTunes, maybe on Google Play, Stitcher Radio, SoundCloud, so many ways you can listen to a podcast, or you may be watching a video. You may be watching it as I'm posting it on Facebook Live, or you may see it later. But anyway, it's a cool way to create content, I think. And I know a lot of business owners who would love to tell their story, who would love to have people know a little bit more about what they do and why they do it. And so this podcast, my hope is that it will be a resource for a lot of the folks who I get to come in contact with. So you'll notice on my LinkedIn page, I changed the banner. What's your story? And I put the link Podcast Houston, or the website, on the see right there on my LinkedIn page. So again, if you go to podcasthouston.com right now, it will take you to the Facebook page. And if you like the page, you'll be notified over the next 40 days as we do 40 days to make your money count. But the theme Made in Texas will go on for much longer than that. So I have built a page on Facebook called Made in Texas. It's one of several pages I manage, but I think that'll be a fun page over the next year to get to know some folks, and beyond that, to meet and make new friends in the Houston area primarily. And so, again, thanks for listening, and I hope you will consider being a part of our journey. And the easiest way to do that is go to Facebook, go to podcasthouston.com, and it will take you to our Facebook page. And when you like the page or send me a message, you'll kind of be in my orbit. And it'll be a good, fun way to connect with other folks who are listening to the podcast. So now I'm going to play just an excerpt from Make Your Money Count, one of my favorite little stories, and I'll do that over the next 40 days. So you'll be able to participate in a 40-day challenge. 40 days to make your money count is a challenge to prepare for 2019. If you don't have a really clear financial plan, a plan that is based on your vision and your values and your purpose, if you don't have something that's really helpful for you and your family to put all the pieces together, I want to invite you to be part of this podcast. But even more, I'm going to be making some offers from Family Wealth Builder Academy, where I am putting together some training courses. And the first one is Financial Blueprint Academy. That's going to be our signature training. It will focus on the financial blueprint, which is a big part of each of my books. Make Your Money Count, Connecting Your Resources to What Matters Most. That's a book I wrote for investors, individual investors, families, and business owners. And it's a great resource. It's also a great resource if you happen to have a small group like in your church. So I taught Dave Ramsey's Financial Peace University for, 15 years in the churches, in my church and a few other churches as a volunteer. And one of the things I found is that the course that I taught with Dave and his group, we would generally have about 200 people show up for the class, and they would all be pretty excited about creating a plan and paying off debt and building wealth. But what would happen is shortly into the course, we would give them homework. And somewhere along the line, when the homework hit, a lot of folks just disappeared. And so by the end of each of those courses, and I did this for a very long time, we found that folks just disappeared, and we would have about a dozen people at the end. And those dozen people, believe it or not, were most likely the people who really didn't need to be there. I mean, they were already serious, already doing the things they needed to do. So what I'm doing here, what I'm doing at Family Wealth Builder Academy, is providing a resource, kind of a next step, a next level of financial planning tools and resources for the folks who are already doing the right things and have already been doing the right things, but also for folks who need some help and want to take some steps. So again, I hope you'll join me. I promise I'm going to be putting together some very practical training for folks to create a very compelling financial plan. I've been a certified financial planner for a long time. I've done a lot of research and a lot of work with families, and it's so much more than investment management. Now, we'll get into investment management, and I will show you the things you need to know to make wise investments. In fact, the tagline is smarter investing and better results. And I can teach you how to do that. But the truth is, if you really want to move the needle on your financial life, financial planning is much more valuable than investment management. You know, the next guy at Morgan Stanley, where I worked for years, those advisors at Merrill Lynch or Wells Fargo or Ameriprise or Edward Jones, you know, there's a whole lot of us, and I would say most of us are pretty good folks, and we're trying to help people, but the reality is investment management doesn't move the needle nearly as much as having a person who can help you take a look at the big picture of your financial life and see how all the pieces fit together. And that's what I'm really excited about doing. That's what we're going to be doing on this, in Family Wealth Builder Academy for sure. But on this podcast, those are the kind of things I'm going to want to talk about with folks who have done something extraordinary. And I know a lot of folks in and around Houston who have done some extraordinary things, built some very successful businesses that support a lot of people in their community. And that's exciting to me to know that financial planning, advanced tax strategies, there's so many ways that wealth management can help someone who's doing something big so that they can do even more for themselves and for their family and for the community that they serve and provide employment to. So really excited about what's ahead. We're wrapping up 2018, and so I know everybody's focused on the holidays, but the truth is, after you get all those bills from Christmas, you're probably going to want to focus on maybe getting your financial plan back on track. And so I hope you'll join me. I hope you'll be part of the journey. Now I'm going to just listen to an excerpt from Make Your Money Count, Connecting Your Resources to What Matters Most. And then you'll hear a song from my friend Micah Peacock. And I'll include a song in each episode for the next 40 days. So I hope you'll join me for the 40-day challenge, 40 days to make your money count. Day 1 of 40 days to make your money count. Jesus said, "If you follow my teachings, you will be my student, and you'll know the truth, and the truth will set you free." The perfect investment. Well, there may not actually be a perfect investment, but matching funds come as close as anything I've ever seen. Many companies offer to match money we put into retirement accounts, and that's free money. It doubles your investment immediately, and it will multiply your savings over time. Sadly, I've known a number of people who did not take advantage of this incredible opportunity. If your employer offers it, do whatever you need to do to get the maximum you can get. You might not be able to afford the latest Mac computer or the newest iPhone every time a new one comes along, but you'll have something far better, peace of mind that your future is looking good. Hi, I'm Jim Munchback, your host. Welcome to our podcast. 40 Days to Make Your Money Count is sponsored by Family Wealth Builder of Houston. To learn more about our investment management and financial planning services, visit FamilyWealthBuilder.com. I'll open every episode with a quick quote, and in every episode, we'll highlight a couple of short excerpts from Make Your Money Count, Connecting Your Resources to What Matters Most, read by professional narrator Rick Stallman. The Kindle version of Make Your Money Count is available at Amazon. If you're like me and millions of people who love to read with sound, Make Your Money Count at audible.com. We'll also insert an inspirational song from one of my favorite Christian artists. At the end of the show, I'll share a special offer for anyone who wants to take their wealth management to the next level. So stick around. You won't want to miss this special limited offer from Family Wealth Builder of Houston. Again, thanks for subscribing to Family Wealth Builder in iTunes, Stitcher Radio, and everywhere podcasts are played.
98% of us will die at some point in our lives, so a little planning can go a long way. Ricky Bobby, Talladega Nights. I could see it on their faces and hear it in their voices. The difference was startling. Two couples, both clients of mine, had daughters who were getting married, but that's where the similarities stopped. Chris and Robin wanted a nice wedding for their daughter Melissa, but Chris hadn't saved a dime since he started working after graduate school. He always figured things would work out, and someone, his parents, his employer, or the lottery jackpot, would provide any money he and his family needed. But now, wedding plans were in full swing, and he had no money to pay for it. Money, or rather the lack of it, consumed him and his relationships with his wife and daughter. Over and over again, Robin and Melissa made plans, but when they presented them to Chris, he grimaced, shook his head, and then exploded, "You know we can't afford that. What were you thinking?" Chris contacted me to ask for advice about managing his money, but in fact, he had no money to manage. The family had spent all they made every month since Chris and Robin got married, so there simply wasn't any money to pay for the wedding. As the reality of his past choices hit him in the face, Chris felt ashamed and humiliated because he wasn't able to provide for his dear daughter's needs. In a short time, his discouragement slipped into depression, and he felt completely hopeless, helpless, and worthless. Still, the wedding plans had to be made, and the stress between Chris and Robin robbed the family of the joy of Melissa's wedding. Eventually, Chris borrowed enough money to have a very modest ceremony, but the damage was done. Every moment and every decision was dominated by the painful lack of money, so relationships were strained. They endured rather than celebrated Melissa's wedding. My other clients, Phil and Trish, had saved plenty of money for their daughter's wedding. No, they hadn't saved enough for swans, skyriders, and Chateau Brown for $400, but they had enough for a beautiful wedding. Phil told me that a wonderful moment came early in the planning when his daughter, Alicia, asked, "Dad, what's our budget for the wedding?" Phil answered with a question of his own. "How much were you thinking of?" She gave him a number, and he replied, "You can add more to that. We have enough, and I want this to be a wonderful, beautiful day for you." Imagine what that did for Alicia's sense of peace as she planned the wedding, and for her relationship with her dad. I talked to Phil a number of times as the weeks wound down to the wedding, and each time he told me something like, "Every day I thank God that we have enough money to provide for Alicia's wedding. That takes such a load off. We're having a blast." Phil's family had some decisions to make, and of course, some of the choices were difficult ones. Should they allocate more money for a photographer and less for flowers, or the other way around? But the difficulty of those decisions pales in comparison to the shame, anger, and anxiety Chris, Robin, and Melissa experienced. When Alicia's day arrived, it was a beautiful thing to see. Everybody was completely relaxed and focused on the joy of the moment, with no hint of anxiety about money. Phil told me, "Alicia's wedding was beautiful, fun, and meaningful. In fact, it was glorious." Phil and Trish had been intentional about managing their money, and they experienced incredible benefits from their plan. The emotional nature of money. Money may seem inert, but it has the power to cripple or heal, to depress or inspire. Dr. Lawrence Barton, the president and chief executive officer of the American College, observed, "Money is tangible, but it is also emotional in nature. It is necessary for the exchange of goods and services, but is also what divides spouses and families, and is often the source of permanent scars among loved ones." Interestingly enough, many individuals spend more time analyzing the sports scores or their horoscope in the daily newspaper than they invest in monitoring their daily financial health. From the foreword of What Matters Most by Jim Munchback. Baxter Press, Friendswood, Texas, 2004, page 9. A recent study concluded that most decisions about money are emotional, not rational decisions. We are inundated by countless messages that we simply have to have this product or that service to make us happy, successful, and accepted, but we don't hear any messages about the benefits of saving and investing. So we buy, hoping that this time our purchase will make us feel really good, but with a nagging sense of guilt and anxiety that we'll have to pay for it in another month. In a think tank sponsored by the National Endowment for Financial Education, a participant noted that most Americans now own things that only the wealthy would have enjoyed a few decades ago. But we're not paying for these things with cash. We're a credit society. He observed, "I think a lot of middle-income Americans are living their dreams. They're driving vehicles they can't afford, and they're living in houses they can't afford. They all have the trappings. They're focused on what makes them happy today." Motivating Americans to Develop Constructive Financial Behaviors by the National Endowment for Financial Education, 2004, page 6. But other messages can touch our emotions, if they can only be heard. These are messages about the peace and contentment of knowing our finances are on track to meet our family's needs, and the unvarnished thrill of using our resources to touch the lives of others. The first step, though, is to establish or clarify a sense of direction, a purpose for our lives.
Your voice that gives me life and breath. Your spirit moves in places deep. Your truth that breaks past my defense, and I know that you are near. Your face is in my neighbor's need. Your sign is hidden through the day. You surround me like the air I breathe, and flood me with your grace. God, give me eyes to see. God, give me hands to do. God, give me ears to hear and feet to move. Take my restless heart and make it like your own. Let me rest in your love alone. Give me eyes to see. Oh, give me eyes to see. Your mercy shines in break of dawn. Forgiveness in a gentle rain. I hear the whisper of your call. Oh, may I not delay. God, give me eyes to see. God, give me hands to do. God, give me ears to hear and feet to move. Take my restless heart and make it like your own. Let me rest in your love alone. Give me eyes to see. Yeah. Oh. Closer than the sun on my face, closer than the tears wiped away, closer than the air that I breathe. God, give me eyes to see. Closer than the thoughts in my mind. You're closer than my past left behind. Closer than my fears and my dreams. Oh, God, give me eyes to see. Yeah, yeah. Give me eyes to see. Oh, God, give me eyes to see. God, give me hands to do. Oh, God, give me ears to hear, feet to move. Take my restless heart and make it like your own. Let me rest in your love alone. Give me eyes to see. Yeah. Oh. We're singing Closer than the thoughts in my mind, closer than my past left behind, closer than the air that I breathe. Oh, God, give me eyes to see.
If you've been waiting for an easy money makeover, and if you're finally ready to take some serious steps to improve your financial life without risking a dime, then I have some huge and exciting news for you. Hi, I'm Jim Munchback, certified financial planner, founder, and CEO here at Family Wealth Builder of Houston. We've decided to do something we've never done before. We're calling it the Easy Money Makeover year-long giveaway. That's right, we're going to be giving away an entire year of Easy Money Makeover tips, tools, and strategies, along with our all-inclusive premium membership valued at $1,200 for free. But wait, it gets even better. Just by entering the drawing, you'll get immediate access to 4 incredible bonuses, which I'll tell you about in just a sec. Since obviously only one of you can win, we want to make sure you enter now by signing up at emoneymakeover.com. So here's how it's going to work. Simply sign up at emoneymakeover.com and you'll instantly be entered into our Easy Money Makeover year-long giveaway, where the winner will receive 100% completely free year of our premium membership valued at over $1,200. Plus, when you sign up right now, you'll instantly receive these 4 incredible bonuses. Bonus number 1, 40 days to make your money count. We're giving you an entire 40 days of Easy Money Makeover tips, tools, and strategies on our easy-to-use online platform with everything you need to clarify your purpose, create your financial blueprint, and build a lasting legacy. 40 Days to Make Your Money Count is based on the book by the same name. Here's what a few leaders are saying about Make Your Money Count. The late Dr. Stephen R. Covey, author of The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People and The 8th Habit, From Effectiveness to Greatness. Dr. Covey said, "This very useful book beautifully demonstrates the law of the harvest. It is only through planning and preparing financially that you can free yourself from the worry, fear, and regret that accompany a drought. By proactively choosing to leave a legacy of faith, love, and financial freedom, you become more than what you are." Ken Blanchard, co-author of The 1 Minute Manager and Leading at a Higher Level. Ken says, Make Your Money Count stands out from other guides on money management because it drives home an important truth. Clarifying your purpose in life is the essential element in financial planning. The book offers an excellent blueprint for success and provides easy-to-follow steps that will align your money with your best intentions and put your finances in divine order. Brian Tracy, The Way to Wealth. Brian says, this book shows you how to get complete control over your money and your life, develop a financial plan, and achieve complete independence.
Your host, Jim Munchback, has over 20 years of experience in helping people make wise choices with their money. In Jim's financial workshops, webinars, and in his recent book, Make Your Money Count, Jim identifies 4 types of people. First are those of us who are buried in debt but continue to spend even though we're consumed with anxiety about money. And then many of us live barely above water and are always one paycheck from disaster. Third, many of us have bucks in the bank, but we're still worried about our finances. And finally, those of us whose lives are more full of purpose and contentment because we have a plan that connects our resources to what matters most. With gripping and heartwarming stories, Jim helps each of the first 3 kinds of people to take courageous steps to become people who are full of purpose and contentment. And now, here's your host, Jim Munchback.
Jesus said that our spiritual vitality can be choked out by the weeds of worrying about having more possessions, the deceptive lure of getting more money, and having our hearts focused on the wrong things. Make Your Money Count helps us pull the weeds from our hearts and replace them with a clear, compelling purpose. When we have a strong sense of direction, we'll be motivated to connect everything in our lives, including our finances, to what matters most. We long to make sense of our finances, but many of us don't know where to turn for help. This book puts the pieces together so that we clearly understand the necessity of having a clear, compelling purpose in life, ways you can connect all of your resources to your purpose, how to write a strategic and simple blueprint for financial success, ways we can maximize our savings and investments, and a strategy for passing principles of good financial management to our children. Here's what a few more leaders are saying about Make Your Money Count. Pastor John Ortberg, Menlo Park Presbyterian Church. Jim has a gift. He can write about money and life in a way that will change how you manage both. Read him and watch God change your heart. Dave Briggs, Director of the Stewardship Ministry at Willow Creek Community Church. Dave says, Make Your Money Count is a book for every person interested in a holistic view of money, possessions, and the abundant life. Jim Munchback has effectively zeroed in on the critical elements of living our financial lives wisely. I fully expect this book will change the way you think about money, and I highly recommend it. Linda Miller, Global Liaison for Coaching at the Ken Blanchard Companies. Linda wrote, Jim has a way of communicating simple, practical truths so they change our lives. His compelling writing style and stories breathe life and hope into our efforts to manage money. I recommend this book to people of all ages who want to be more intentional about their finances and their lives. From Tom Wright, State Farm agent and author of Stop Selling and Start Marketing. Tom wrote, Jim should have titled the book Make Your Life Count because he goes beyond showing you how to manage your finances. He opens our eyes to see what is really important in life, how money and investments can help us reach our life's goals. And finally, Rick Baldwin, senior pastor at the Harbor Church in Friendswood, Texas. Rick wrote, More than any other book on the market, Make Your Money Count will help you align your money with your heart. With compelling stories and a practical blueprint, Jim Munchback will inspire and equip you to manage your finances with fresh vision and purpose. Bonus number 2, the blueprint for financial success. Along with an entire free 40 days to make your money count, you also get instant access to our signature planning tool, the blueprint for financial success. Running over the next 14 days, this training program shows you step by step how to design a real financial plan guaranteed to produce more clarity, confidence, and contentment in your financial life. From clarifying your purpose to crafting your own blueprint for financial success, Easy Money Makeover is designed to help you and your family take bold steps. There's no fluff in this program, just clear, actionable steps to creating your blueprint and building a lasting legacy. Bonus number 3, free 30-minute financial coaching call with a certified financial planner professional. By just simply trying Easy Money Makeover today, you'll be getting a one-on-one wealth strategy call tailored specifically to your goals with an experienced certified financial planner practitioner. Your CFP professional will work with you to get the framework of your financial blueprint set up using the most powerful and popular financial planning software in the wealth management industry, Money Guide Pro. And they'll show you how to use the blueprint for financial success to achieve results in the fastest time possible. This one call can literally save you months of hard work and confusion doing it all on your own. It's all about helping you clarify your purpose and take specific action to achieve what matters most to you. Bonus number 4, access to our private Facebook group. Sign up today at emoneymakeover.com. Receive 40 days to make your money count, the blueprint for financial success bonus training, the 30-minute financial coaching call with a certified financial planner professional, and access to our private Facebook group. Easy Money Makeover gives you everything you need to finally create a real financial plan, guaranteed to help you make your money count. Plus, with our personalized customer service, you'll never be more than a click away from getting your questions answered and maintaining the momentum that is essential to your long-term success. But like I said, you get all of this and the chance to win a free year of our premium membership services. It's really a win-win, so sign up now. Instantly dive into the platform and the bonuses and get ready because on January 1st, 2019, we'll be announcing the winner. Till then, hit the button at emoneymakeover.com and get started with our free 40 days to make your money count.